Good afternoon and welcome to a apocalyptic version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. And now here's your fiery and very impatient Voice of Doom. Thank you, Mr. Announcer. You didn't have your cue cards with you this time, I hear. But there's no time to quibble over that. I'm losing my patience. I've said this for the past 4 or 5 episodes, and I said I wasn't going to get off this subject until I saw some positive action. And the first positive thing is get rid of the regime, all of them now. It's like Friday's going to be too late. All right, what got me pissed off today? I'll get into that later. I saw 2 people on my screen that were a disgusting spectacle, horrible countenance. But first of all, I'm not going to take this sitting down or lying down or on my head or any way. I'm marching on the Capitol, and it's going to be on August 31st, which is going to be a very appropriate day, I believe, because I think August 31st will probably be the day that everyone remembers for centuries to come as the day the entire face of the globe changed geopolitically, almost like overnight. You know, they'll look back on, I don't know what they'll call the day, Cataclysm Day, or I don't know what day, but it's going to be the start, and I'm going to march. And I wanted to get a flash mob to start marching because I want like 1 million people marching from Minden and Gardnerville through down the highway, and I want 1 million people marching from Reno down the highway, and it's going to be a long walk. And I think it'd be symbolically great because, first of all, everything that's worthwhile has been done by marching. And second of all, there's going to be too much traffic if we want 1 million people at the Capitol. It's going to be a mess, and then we'll be blamed for, the mess. But if we march and gather 1 million people, it has an impact. Third of all, it would be a spit in the face of these left-wing wokesters who are driving in their car to go see the people that are against the regime marching 10 or 15 miles without cars to the Capitol. You see how great it would be? But I won't get anybody to help me. I won't get anybody to go with me, so I'm going to do it all by myself. August 31st. And now I'm telling everybody, so now I got to do it. I put myself in my own box. And I got to walk from Minden 12 miles to Carson City, Capitol, and stand there like a lunatic with my sign saying, "Save Afghani women and children now." It's a very simple message. And it's not going to be happening. Now let's get into why I'm disgusted with these idiots. I don't know who to start with. That shrew of a inhuman, I don't know what, succubus in charge of our Congress, apparently. Infrastructure is important right now, and we're going to follow the vision of our president by advancing women's rights and child care, advancing women, promoting child care and family leave, as if women are the only ones that benefit from anything that has anything to do with children. They still can't get it right. And the Voter Rights Act she's passing, the historic Voter Rights Act, and that's going to save us from those Jim Crow laws that they, and I put they in quotations because I don't know who they is anymore, want to resurrect. Jim Crow laws, they want to resurrect. Is it they is you? Because you're they. The only they you guys are talking about are the few hundred people that stormed the Capitol and the Viking. That's it. They're the ones. You changed all the voter laws because of these guys, 300 people or whatever. making it easier for people, oh, not just people of color to vote, but all people, rural people, and they kind of lump in a few white crackers together just to look like they're not as stupid as everybody knows they are now. Gosh, and she throws in everything. She throws in the whole kitchen sink. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. America's working families, building back better. And we got to work with climate change because you see, and it's going to be transformational. Bold infrastructure bill. Bold new, to help, to build up, to build back better and make our bridges and our streets and safety and our infrastructure and our firemen and, take out all the things out of there. And Johnson & Johnson has gotten the FDA approval. So all you people should be getting vaccines now that we're worried about not getting approval from the very government that have fucked things up so badly that I wouldn't trust them with a fucking Q-tip swab. I'm going to trust them, FDA. Stupid. And looking back in history, I think about Democrats and how they were saying how Biden, Petri dish of putrefied excrement of a diseased jackal, is not empathetic and he doesn't show enough sympathy. It's like they want crocodile tears about what's going on. All right. First of all, at least Johnson and Carter were empathetic, and it ruined their lives basically because they were so obsessed with what was going on with people dying that they couldn't go on. Johnson would not want to run again because he knew it was a mess and he was tormented by it. You can see pictures in the archives of when Vietnam was going on. And you knew it was weighing on him and he was aging fast. And Carter was just as bad. In a way, he was good. Because there was a hostage situation with Iran, which is just like what we have now, only what we have now is 1,000 times worse. They had 100-something hostages in Iran for like almost 2 years, and it weighed on Carter forever. And it ruined him and it aged him. So at least they had empathy. They were incompetent, but at least they, cared. Now this guy, Petrie, is a different kettle of fish because he doesn't have the cognitive ability to care. He doesn't know what he's doing from moment to moment, and that's why we have to hurry. That's why I have to get this march going like on August 31st because, we're going to see some people, their true colors are going to come out, and I mean they're going to not be able to respond. And I saw it happen before, and it's going to happen again. And the last time I saw it with the media, I saw this freckle-faced Girl Scout trying to answer questions. And it's like, well, we have programs in place that they can apply to get out of Afghanistan. And some people don't even want to leave. I knew they'd get to that. And some people don't want to leave because they have families there. Well, that's great. Is that why they don't want to leave? We're getting people out as quickly as possible, and we expect to be done by the deadline of August 31st. Well, you got to start drawing down people. Not everybody's going to be able to leave in one day. And as things get drawn down, there's going to be more people standing in the sewer canals, which if you watch Gravitas, instead of whatever, you'd realize they're standing in sewage, waiting to get out. And the lucky ones are dragged out of the canal. And then they get to go through the paperwork of seeing if they're actually going to get on a plane or if their hopes are going to be dashed, get thrown back into the canal. Now, I'm going to get back to this other concept because they're suffering because of their past karma, just like I said. And how do you reconcile that? You don't let them keep suffering. You got to deal with this present time. Maybe they were Nazi SS officers in their last lifetime, and now they're standing in a canal of sewer. Well, that's how karma works. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you say, I'm going to ignore those people. You help them as best you can in the present situation that they're in, past, present, future. And maybe in the future, they'll have a better chance at not being born in the sewer again, because they're going to be born in the sewer over and over again if they were SS officers. And I don't feel sorry for, what they have to go through, but we can help by making things better in the present. So I've got that figured out. So I'm not going to worry about that anymore. Help them now, and their karma will take care of itself, and your karma will take care of yourself. And the karma of these people, I'm going to tell you about what happens to the media when things really go bad. Not like now, but really go bad. And by really, I mean when they think the infrastructure and their own safety is in peril. And I'm talking about the riots in LA. Now, that was nothing like now. That's going to be a campfire girl jamboree compared to what's coming. But back then, things were falling apart. And these reporters had to speak off the cuff. They didn't have any cue cards. They didn't have any teleprompters or whatever. They had to speak off the cuff, and you realize how stupid they are when they have to speak off the cuff, because they don't have a brain. They're just announcers who read things. They're speaking about major fires all over the city, and they can't put two words together because they're very nervous. And some of them are worried about where they're standing on the street, and there's crowds starting to come behind them because they notice a camera like moths to the flame, and suddenly the reporter's like, I got to get out of here. And they're not reporting very professionally, and that's exactly what's going to happen on the podium. When this girl is pressured, when things get so bad that they're pressing on her, that it's going to be like Ceausescu when he's going like this at the crowd, like, what's going on? I thought they loved me. That's what it's going to be like. And if you were there, which you probably weren't, because everybody's not born back then, he was surprised, and he was shot. And they were standing in line to shoot him. And I'm using hyperbole, but I'm saying, it's going to be like, what are you doing? The press used to love us. The press always helped us, and now you're turning on me. And now I'm going to break down and cry, and I'm going to run off the stage. And I'm going to resign if you have any kind of integrity. Because you can no longer, I don't care how freckle-faced you are, you can no longer speak for and advocate for and rationalize for a petri dish of putrefied excrement of a diseased jackal. And I'll leave it at that at 13 minutes. I'm going to have the march. I'll do it by myself if I have to. Now I'm forced to, because I told my kid, and I have to live up to my word. So I have to walk probably 15 miles on August 31st. It's my day off, so I got nothing better to do. Stand in front of the Capitol like an idiot. So that's that. You can find me there, and I'll let you know what happens. But I'm sure you'll hear from me long before that, because they're going to be stupider and stupider, and I won't be able to get off because I didn't even say everything. Jim Crow wants to resurrect. Oh, my God. Yeah, chew on that for a while. And join me if you can. I'll be in Gardnerville or Minden. I'll give you more details if anybody's actually watching this, which they won't be. All right. Thanks, everybody. I got to go to work. Thanks. Bye.